What's up, exiles? Oskimoon here. Today I want to talk about my Crossbow Lightning Tactician build in Path of Exile 2 for the 0.3 League. I want to start real quick why Mercenary and why Tactician. First, Mercenary is a safe start for me because it kind of like combines, besides life being a shallow pool in general, but Tactician basically kind of makes me feel like it's tanky, like a melee build a little bit, not all the way, but it also deals damage from a ranged distance, so it kind of is also in its favor. It's also reliable when it comes to gear, so you don't like really heavily depend on gear all the time, basically. And in this patch also we're getting a ton of like nodes in our part of the tree, so I'm very excited to see how this is gonna play out, but I bet it's only gonna be better. So yeah, let's see, how it goes first. Once we see the tree, but for now I'm going with what I did basically last league, and that comes to my next point, is why Tactician. Last league I played Tactician and it was very powerful, the same build, only I'm adding new stuff this league from what has been buffed and what has been announced already. But first is like why is because the persistent buffs that you can the amount of persistent buffs that you can fit in the build is just like gonna work in your favor immensely. The ailment deflection, it was used to be stun. That was kind of nice for us in the early game because stun is like, having a bit of stun threshold like in the early game is like, big. But now we want to see, like, I think deflection is gonna like serve us better in the end game. But either way, I'm still excited about it, and like I'm also always using the pin mechanic that pinned enemies cannot perform any actions, and this is like an offensive and defensive layers because the shock duration was short, and you wanted enemies to be pinned a bit so you could give you more time to act and do more stuff, but now also shock duration basically got doubled, so that's also gonna be in our favor. So in short, Mercenary gives me like a consistency, and I have league started it before, and it's like a very safe league start, and we'll see how we can like go from there anyway. Anyway, the important buffs of this league that I really want to mention is like shock duration is doubled, as I mentioned. Weapon swap is now instant. Since the instant weapon swapping lets you seamlessly switch basically without breaking tempo or having to do something else. Not that we care, because we're going to be using the same crossbow, and that's the next point. You can assign the same weapon to both weapon sets. This is big. We can now assign more like specialized functions to the same weapon, and our gear got cheaper basically because we have one crossbow, and now we can use them in a what we're gonna call tree swapping. Because if you have the same weapon and you're just like instantly swapping, it means you're just swapping the tree. So I'm gonna call it tree swapping from now on. And the witch hunter guys, I think they're gonna go to town with it because they have 100 points to do that. But we're not playing witch hunter anyway. So also banners got buffed, which is super amazing. We have one banner since last league, but yeah, here, let me show you in game. Yeah. So we're using war banner. So that's it basically for what got like, super buffed this league, like for us at least, besides like the things that we don't know. Okay, so to explain the build, how it works. So by last league I was able to apply shock so easy because of overwhelming presence. Overwhelming presence lets us lower our enemy's ailment threshold. And basically we are stacking aura effect and presence effect, so we can dramatically enhance overwhelming presence. And then we try to add magnitude of shock and ailments whenever possible to make our shocks go wide and deep. And hurt bad, basically. Okay. This worked last league because, even with the changes to galvanic shards and shock burst rounds, it seems they are buffed, but even in the cases when they're nerfed, it's not by a lot, and they can be fixed by small investments into attack speed, reload speed, and maybe some damage. But the damage was too much to try to make up for anyway. which I don't know how to calculate. We're gonna talk about that later. So now basically, just to explain, enemies in our aura basically are weakened, making ailments like shock land effortlessly, and maybe other ailments. And on top of that, like down the line, we will use pinned enemies cannot perform actions from the ascendancy, which was another defensive and offensive layer, and will give us time, even more time, to apply shocks, which got doubled in duration anyway. In addition to all of this, in this league, I'm convinced I have to at least try those two things, which is the new mortar cannon. It doesn't seem like you could maybe down in the end game invest heavily in it. And basically make it the main damage dealer, but that's not what I'm going for. I'm trying to, I think this is insane, you could just place a totem here and there, and it will kind of finish off things for you. And I cannot wait what gas, a combination of gas, stun, and cluster grenades, which have been reworked, by the way, is gonna do with this. It's just gonna put it there and it's gonna destroy. Is gonna apply stuff for you. I think the community is gonna discover crazy stuff with this. The second thing I want to try is Mirage Archer, which could be a great asset in the campaign. But even down the line, the fact that you can do 50% your damage, or 70%, or even buff it more. So kind of we want to see where that goes, and I want to see kind of how to fit all of this, because last league, to try to fit all of this, I had so much spirit, and I spent it on a bunch of quality of life and some defenses and whatnot. I want to maybe remove some of the stuff to try to add these two things. I'll need probably 80 spirit or whatnot. One thing to mention is I expect that we will be dealing at least one other elemental damage besides lightning, to say the least, at least one. Definitely inflicting that respective ailment, again with the way GGG is intending that we use this league, multiple elemental damage types, and how they all interact together and with different elemental ailments and skills, and depending on the rolls we get of added flat elemental damage and gained as extra, and the other of the other elements like cold and fire, and with Trinity being a buff and all this, I think we're gonna at least inflict one other elemental ailment, and that's because we have overwhelming presence, and it's buffed, and we're gonna have to capitalize somehow. I don't know, but on freezes and ignites. One idea came to me, for example. And if the attributes and resources allow us to do that, we would add cast on elemental ailment, the new one. And since we're inflicting elemental ailments all the time, if the attributes allow it, this will act like another herald. If we add snap to it, and snap got reworked as well, because snap used to work with cold, now works with all ailments. So that would be nice, snap and cast on elemental ailment, and you're just having another, source of damage if you want, or another skill to damage. So I want to see if also I'm not squeezing too much stuff in it. Again, let's see, it's all theory. But I'll keep you posted, anyway. Sorry. Last thing in this section is charges. Last league I used Valako's Roar besides other unique charms, and Hate Forge, the glove, and this is to maintain charges with uptime. Here I'll show you, and yeah, with Valako's grants you frenzy, and this grants you power charges, but this grants you maximum rage, and with the gloves, which let me show you. So with this gloves, basically it grants three random charges on reaching maximum rate. So I was practically uptime was super high, because basically I'll show you later. I was inflicting damage to myself every time. 5% of physical damage from hits taken as damage of a random element. So I was always inflicting myself with some kind of damage. So I was doing that loop, and it was working super nice. But in the end, I got I was okay, am I really using those charges correctly? I was just consuming with galvanic galvanic shards. I was consuming the frenzy charges, but besides that, I was not doing much. Anyway, so I did that last league, and I think it's good. If I have the extra points with the new tree with all the stuff coming out, I will update it. But like, it's too good to miss out. I was having like 3 charges of every type all the time. Anyway, the loop of in this section, I want to just discuss the for those who don't know galvanic shards and whatnot, and what I'm planning to do this league, just the skill rotation and everything. So our combat loop is 1-2 punch, galvanic shards. It's a primary clearing skill, functions like a shotgun. We're wiping out packs reliably and applying shocks to tougher enemies. This will proc, by the way, Herald of Thunder, which is the first thing we're going to get when we get 30 Spirit. And this will help us with the clear immensely. And then whatever doesn't die, we switch to Shock Burst round and we punish enemies with massive lightning damage, because that's what it does. And then you can see, by the way, enemies are being shocked from their body. They have the shock effect, and there's the icon of shock as well under their health bar. Anyway, and now we're probably adding a mortar totem here and there, and Mirage Archer, when we dodge roll and, make it rain. We also place the banner basically on the boss. So that's that. So for the bossing, just to make it clear, you arrive from the map, you have charged banner. Now it's glory. I don't know how that's gonna happen, but probably the same. You place your banner, you put a totem at the end of the screen somewhere far away. You dodge roll to get a Mirage Archer, and you let you first use galvanic shards to apply shock, and then let shock burst rip. So and also during that time, by the way, we should point out that pinned enemies cannot move, so we have a lot of leeway to escape and run away from effects and stuff, which is amazing, really, especially in mappings. This is like really amazing, and in bossing. So it's a good overall solution for us. Just a pointer, if you look here and you look at POB, what am I gonna press here? You look, the numbers here are jokes, right? The numbers are nothing, and then you look at I don't have POB open, sorry. So in POB, you see the numbers are different, 46 and whatnot, but this is all like even not true, in my opinion. Wait, hold on. In my opinion, this is not even true, because this is really what I want to talk about, is like there's 2 things. We are kind of using penetration, which is kind of, when you're using penetration, and there's like, this is how much basically you're gonna penetrate of the already existing elemental resistance of the enemy, but there's also exposure, right, which you're lowering that thing. So I don't know really how things are being calculated, but the damage, and the damage with shock also is confusing things even more, for me at least. Maybe you guys know how to do this. But for me, when shock says it's like increases and the damage that enemy takes, that has nothing to do with you. That's on the other side of the fence. So because also that, like, you need someone, like, maybe we can watch a Dreamcore video together and he will explain how damage works there and the layering of damage. I seen an interesting video, but that's not what I'm trying to explain here. I'm just trying to keep it as simple for me as well. Anyway, so I think this build will feel like stronger with like the shock duration that doubled and everything, and we're increasing the magnitude of shock, so the damage that they're taking is even more. So I don't know how it will calculate, but it will be even stronger than 0.2 how we played it. Yeah. So next, I mean, for the skill tree, I don't have a real skill tree. I have this skill tree. The only thing that changed is I used to pass and increased projectile damage and then go this way, but then I changed in the end here. But yeah, these are the nodes, and I will leave this old POB basically in the description, but this got me there basically. So basically these are the first damage nodes that you're gonna get, and then you're gonna get these, and then you're gonna try to get attack speed when possible, definitely these. And then I spec'd into this was important. This I came later this way, but first I came here. And then I always try to take skill speed for the reload, attack speed. This is gonna let go basically because the shock duration has doubled, so we're not gonna need these three. But anyway, that will be in the second version of the POB, and I will explain that to you. And this here, I was already spec'd into this, 1 attack speed per dexterity, but then I spec'd out down the line because I had already, I needed the more damage. And I got bored with the league, to be honest, and I never continued, so that's where we are, level 89. Here we are, level 89, and I never went through with it, but you know, it's a solid build. So that's that about the tree. As for the POB, I want to explain this to you real quick here, what I did, so what I will be leaving in the so as you see here in the tree, so there's the default tree, right? And then there's a test that I did. I was trying here to go for aura effect and presence, but that's not gonna happen. It took too many points, and unless there's stuff interesting that's coming here now in the new patch, that's not gonna happen. And this is what I'm aiming for in this league. I also have to try that. So this has not been tried. What has been tried is the default, and it will get you there. And from there, I plan to respec and continue to do experimentation. I also, man, kind of rely on the community to tell me feedback, and I hope they, you know, help me out with this, like tell me what, you know, what they think. And it's always the greatest ideas come from collectives, so I'm also excited to see that. And the mods that we're trying to go for is basically on the gear. You see, like I bought this one divine thing. It's not wow, but it has projectiles, it has added damage, increased fizz. If it can have also gain as extra, it would be nice. Also here, evasion armor with dex and some whatever resistances and life. I did not get like a lot of life, but you know, you see my life is low, so you should not try to do that. You should like try to aim to be at this level, like 3,500 to be tankier. But yeah, life is like very weak, but you see my gear is very, very bad. It's all pick up from the floor and craft and whatnot. Like it's all basic loot, except these three I bought and the gloves that I showed you before. I don't want to make this video longer, so I'm gonna just jump ahead. As we spoke about already, the charms, I talked about Valakos for the frenzy, Breath of the Mountain for the power charges, and maybe we use Ngama who's chosen to gain maximum rage with Hate Forge to get 3 random charges. I probably will do that, but that's too late. And that's for, I mean, that's tried and tested tech. I know it will work and it will keep your charges up, but that's for later. I'm not gonna like deal with that right now. So we're not gonna use any uniques for the moment. So just get life and res on evasion and armor based gears and pick up the best stuff. Don't spend any money on it. For leveling, follow the standard mercenary leveling guide. Follow just what the game intended for you. You know how the game actually, you know, suggests stuff. If you just follow that until level 30 and you switch to galvanic shards, in the beginning you might need to use another payload skill like high velocity or I don't know what. And then when shock burst round comes, you're good. And then you just, whenever possible, layer in overwhelming presence, herald of thunder, and shock burst rounds. Will come, I think, later in the end. Sorry. Anyway, to wrap it up, this is my queue. This build is good. I think it's a guarantee. There's no risk. It will take me there. So I want to leave the POB in the description. I want a league started. I will do updates day 1. I will not do updates day 2 and day 3 because I will be out of town. But then day 4, day 5, probably I will be back. So anyway, you guys, this is all theory, so don't judge me for it. I know what I told you has worked last league. I promise you has worked from last league. Otherwise, Tell me what you think. I'm really relying that you guys give me some feedback and tell me if you like these videos so I can do more. Anyway, thanks for watching, and like and subscribe if you like the content, and I'll see you next time, exiles.